Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Don Weeb here, back with another What If Deku Had Chakra. If you guys haven't already, please make sure to check out the playlist, which should be in the iCard in the top right-hand corner, and subscribe to my channel for more videos from me like this. Around 63% of my viewers actually aren't subscribed to my channel, so if you guys want to do that, it's free, and if you ever feel like you can always unsubscribe. Thank you so much, and let's just get into this part for What If Deku Had Chakra. If you can recall last time, I mentioned that I'd be going over what happened while Deku was unconscious and as he met the users of One for All, minus Mirio and All Might for obvious reasons. With Deku now back, as we have a small flashback from where we currently are. Since last time Night Eye had just died while Deku was unconscious, Deku now is currently unconscious right after the fight with Overhaul. As Deku has now intaken One for All's power, this quirk booster that was created so long ago, once quirks had become the main power source on the planet and overtaken Chakra. As Deku opens his eyes, he thinks that he's woken back up. As he stands up, he looks around, realizing that he doesn't have any legs. What's going on, he would think, as he looks down, seeing both of his arms and down to his chest with his head. He's looking around thinking that something weird's going on, when he would look up and see that they're standing there, one of the first users of One for All. In fact, the first user of One for All. As he would greet young Midoriya. "There we are," he would say. "We finally made it full circle, huh?" The first user would say, as he would then begin to walk over to Deku, as he would analyze him. "Your chakra's impressive," he would say, as he then can feel Deku's energy through his mental and spiritual energy, or even in this place in One for All. "How do you know about chakra, and where are we? Who are you?" Deku would be curious, as well as a little bit scared of where he is, and he can't feel his actual body, or he can't even feel his chakra. What's going on, he would think. This would be when the first user began to explain a few things. This power, One for All, was built to defeat his older brother, All for One. But he already knew that, right? Deku would nod. This power has a secondary purpose as well. We're not just guarding against the evils that come from this planet, but something else, he would say. You may be wondering how a few of the users have died beforehand when we have such a great power from this stockpiling level quirk, correct? Midoriya would then nod, while proceeding to ask what he's talking about, what this has to do, if anything. This power is created to take down All for One, no matter how long it took, right? The first user would nod, as he then says that there was a secondary purpose as well. The 0 point of all quirks, Chakra, is now back in the world. This will mean a few things, he would say, as he holds up his hand. 1, the quirk singularity will begin to take place, and really soon, in the next 20 years, I'd say. The quirk singularity, he would say, as Deku has a small flashback to hearing Overhaul talk about the quirk singularity, as well as Chakra and how he was going to save the world, and save and bring humans back to their rightful forms. Yes, the first user would say. Hundreds of years ago, there used to be great shinobi nations that covered the land. The land of fire, wind, lightning, earth, grass, water, and so on and so forth, he would say, bringing up the ninja villages. The people in these villages had a special power. In fact, everyone in this world had this power, called Chakra, something that only you can tap into and possess now. Though, for certain, I don't know why. "How do you know about Chakra?" Deku would then ask immediately, being the one to ask the questions here. The younger brother of All for One would hesitate, as he would then say he'd be running out of time as soon as Deku was waking up. He would quickly tell Deku that he would explain more soon, but before he can leave, he had to tell Deku one more thing. "Beware the fearsome clan of the Otsutsuki, the same one that Kaguya is from," he would think, as Deku would recall memories of her. As Deku's consciousness is fading out of this world of existence, All for One's brother, the first user, would then tell Deku, "10th user, you need to know this before you return back to the real world. Our planet is currently safe for now. Our only threat is each other, villains and heroes, as you all play with them now. As we play with them," he would think, as Deku would see silhouettes of different people in the background, with a few of them already being visible. Deku would ask what this all means, with then the first user taking his finger and touching Deku on the forehead, saying they'll speak again sometime. Deku would then wake up in the real world in the hospital, as he's now sweating. "He's awake! Hurry, get over here!" she would say, as you see Uraraka now sitting next to Deku's hospital bed, having stayed there pretty much 2 days to make sure he was alright. Deku would sit up as he thinks, too close, as he's now blushing and sweating, with him asking Uraraka what she was doing there, with Uraraka looking at him concerned. You've been passed out for almost 2 days. 2 days? Deku would say, as he can only recall having that conversation with the first user for maybe 3 minutes. Wow, that world must have some sort of time that speeds up faster than the one we're in right now, Deku would think, as he feels his hand. Something's different, he would say, as he looks and feels inside of himself as he closes his eyes, sensing the nature, energy, and the chakra around him. Once One For All had entered his body, his chakra had been amped up as well as his chakra pool. It's like I have 9 people's chakra pools all tied together. Something that Deku doesn't know about One For All at this point is that a bit of the souls of the users of One For All are all connected. So now that Deku's soul has been added, that he can utilize the chakra from all the past users. The way this works is that basically, since none of them could use chakra, they had their chakra pools from their natural life in their soul pretty much untapped. Like underground pools of water in the real world where people can find caverns, if that's a visual example. Deku can tap into these different chakra pools as he combines them with his own, making him have a larger chakra pool. Back to the moment at hand, though. Uraraka is thankful that Deku's alright, and Deku now has One For All. Wait, one for... Mirio, he would think as he then pops out of bed immediately. Careful, you were out for 2 days. Deku would fall down to one leg as Uraraka would help him up, carrying him. Where's Mirio? He would ask Uraraka with a sense of desperation. Uraraka would hurry as she would help Deku hobble, as he's not fully recovered from his fight with Overhaul just yet. With him then now making it to the room, we see a room that has Night Eye's name on it, but with an empty bed. Midoriya would be shocked, thinking what happened, with Ochako telling Deku about what happened to Night Eye. He passed away while you were asleep. No, that's impossible, Deku would think, as he has visions of his head of him fighting against Night Eye, and Night Eye having worked with him in the workspace and everything that's happened to this point. Deku would now be shocked that someone, a pro hero like Night Eye, could have died. Where's Mirio? He's in there, Ochako would say. As she'd open the door and Midoriya would walk in. There he would see Mirio sitting next to the bed, his hand on it, with his eyes closed. Mirio, are you alright? Uraraka would close the door behind them, as Uraraka would walk out, as it's just Mirio and Deku now alone together. I'm fine, but what I'm more worried about is, did I transfer One For All to you fast enough? Did it not get deleted with my quirk as well from those quirk erasing bullets from Chisakai? He would say, as he would ask Deku with a look of worry in his eyes. Deku would sigh as he looks down, as he thinks about the moments when Mirio passed on his quirk to him to save One For All and keep the stockpile quirk that All Might possessed going. Deku would hold up his left hand as he focuses unlocking One For All, and green sparks mixed with some chakra would then flow out of his arm. Wow, Mirio would say. So it did work. Mirio would be smiling now as he looks relieved. I was so worried about what happened to it that I could barely sleep, Mirio would say. He's now in a much more happy, joyous attitude even. Why do you look so happy, Mirio? You lost your quirk. And One For All? The power entrusted to you by All Might. How are you so positive right now, Deku would say, as he himself is feeling himself with his mood going down. Deku would be concerned about the future of the Hero Society, and especially, but where the Otsutsuki clan would ring in his ears. Deku would now have more worries on his mind, as Mirio would then pat him on the shoulder, with Deku's eyes now clearing as he looks at Mirio. Mirio would smile, saying that once Eri can learn how to control her quirk, then he can revert and gain his permeation quirk back, and he would say as he looks down, I always thought you were a better candidate for One For All than I was anyway. That's what I kept telling the sir, he would say as he looks down at the bed, with Mirio, his eyebrows actually going in as he feels himself shedding a tear. Deku would then ask if Mirio's alright, with him seeing Mirio cry. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without... Mirio would stop as he's choking up, and Deku would pat him on the back. Mirio would then look up, giving a weak smile to Deku, as he tells him that he's going to have to continue forward, carrying the world as the new symbol of peace. Deku would be looking at Mirio now, if he really means that. Mirio would nod, telling Deku that he has to keep moving forward, no matter what, and he has to protect everyone. Deku would crunch his fists together as he feels his muscles congregating into a single point. He would then stand up as he feels himself not wobbly anymore, his chakra having completely regenerated. "You're right," he would say, as he tells Mirio that he's going to continue on, and he's going to keep fighting. Deku would walk out of the room as he says goodbye to Mirio. Deku would now be heading back to classes as Izuku Midoriya has returned to UA. With everyone in class cheering back for Deku's recovery, except for Bakugo, everyone would be relieved that Deku was alright and had recovered smoothly. This would be when Aizawa would walk in and say that, with his droopy eyes and dark attitude, that UA would be holding their very own UA Culture Festival soon, and that every class would be putting on their own event. He'd ask Class 1A what they'd be looking to do, with everyone debating on what they'd be doing for their event. Everyone would eventually come to the same idea of doing a concert, with Jiro being nominated as their band leader. Of course, Bakugo would volunteer to do his drum action, and everyone else would pretty much have the same positions. Deku would be told about his complete lack of skills with dancing, but Deku's skills as a shinobi, a ninja, would be extremely useful on top by carrying Aoyama as a disco ball. And so everything at this point pretty much lines up with this arc, at least, with Deku having chakra not really being too different, other than the fact that he could do some interesting special effects with different jutsu. Anyhow, Deku would be sent out to get rope the same way he would have normally, even though Yaoyorozu could have totally made some rope with her quirk, but whatever. Anyhow, not pointing out any plot points there, but as Deku was sent out, he would also be getting the tea that Momo would have told him to, because yeah, that was a thing, if you can remember. And so he'd go to that same tea shop that the gentle criminal himself would also have gone to. Here's where the paths between the two would begin to cross, as Deku would catch a glimpse of someone wearing a long overcoat, as well as a shorter woman with red hair. I feel I need to bring up at this point as well that Deku pretty much just got One For All, so he doesn't have all of these suit requirements that he had by this point in the series where he wants different changes and such. So he doesn't have those gauntlets that he uses in the actual timeline at this point for obvious reasons of him not even having One For All for a long enough period of time to where he could come up with different things that he would need. Anyhow, back to the story itself. Gentle as well as La Brava would both be in disguise right now, with them wearing masks, as well as on the overcoats and hats they had on. Deku the other night, before the festival was getting started, would have obviously clicked on the same video since that wouldn't have changed just because he had chakra. And as Deku almost bumps into the two, this would be when Gentle would comment that almost ruined his tea of his favorite tea, the Gold Imperial Tips, with Deku remembering Yaoyorozu, then sharing some with him turning to the right and asking if that really is a cafe or some sort of tea shop. With Gentle now surprised that someone could actually recognize the greatness of his favorite tea, he would begin talking about how great it is that someone so young understands the true greatness of tea, which would make Deku get a bit frazzled before he hears his voice and recognizes him. Deku would be solemn as he and Gentle Criminal both realize that Gentle screwed up. Gentle talked to Deku too long, and he would put two and two together, realizing that if Deku had such a high-class friend who could afford such luxuries to even allow him to try it, then he had to have gone to a prestigious school. Deku would look up as he recognized Gentle's voice through the mask, as he had watched just a video that day beforehand, and Deku in this version has extremely heightened senses, as well as being just as smart as he was in the original. Deku would put his bags down that has the rope in it that he had got, as he then tells Gentle Criminal that he won't allow him to ruin the UA festival and set off that alarm, saying that he'd watched Gentle's newest video, and he knows what he's up to. With Gentle and La Brava now looking at each other when they try to say that excuse themselves as they begin to walk away, Deku would say he's not going to allow him to get away, as he would then charge forward, using a bit of One For All since he has it now, and it can boost his physical speed and other stats. Deku with one foot would push forward. With his front foot, he would step as he throws a punch, trying to take Gentle out with a single blow. As he throws his punch, he would suddenly realize that he's stuck. Deku feels like his entire body's wrapped in plastic wrap, as Gentle would then use Gentle Rebound, sending Deku flying back down the street. Deku would catch himself using chakra and clinging to the walls, making Deku skid just a few feet further down the wall, before he catches himself with his chakra, saying he's not going to let him get away that easily. Gentle and La Brava would try to run as they try and make it through the woods to get to UA. Deku at this point would realize what they're going to do, as he would use a Shadow Clone, and with his One For All strength would throw the Shadow Clone towards Gentle. "He's here already? I'll have to make a diversion," he would say. He'd use the air and use his elasticity quirk for him and La Brava to jump on the air, as he would then head towards that industrial building. Deku would follow close behind, using his chakra. Wood style, he would say as he claps his hands together. By clasping his hands, he would then slam it to the ground, causing a large tree to sprout out of the concrete. He would then jump from the tree towards the industrial building as he uses shadow clones to grab onto the building itself. Deku would warn Gentle that this is his last chance to turn himself in, or Deku's gonna have to get serious. Gentle, who would have already set a trap using the metal bars and making them elastic, would have told Deku to give it his best shot. Deku would grit his teeth as he tells Gentle that he asked for this, as he would then clasp his hands together to create the chakra. With him not wanting to cause any destruction, being a hero and all, he would use his chakra to create a slim as well as effective jutsu, by using one of his old bullet jutsus that he hasn't used in a while. Fire bullet jutsu! He would think, as he then clasps the hand seals together as he holds it up towards, his hand and palm open. Small bullets of flame begin to erupt out using his chakra and transforming it into this nature. Gentle would be surprised as he would then activate his trap, with everything beginning to bounce and become rubbery. He used the air as a shield, but Deku had predicted this. As Izuku Midori would then shoot the beams of flame towards him, the bullets would fly into the elastic shield. However, because they were made of flame and the air was made out of air, just elastic, it would rip through it like paper, as the air would be heated up and bubble before it would rip out of the quirk's control. The bullet would slam into Gentle, as he would use his elasticity on his clothing in order to make the bullet wound less effective. He'd fall backwards as he and Labrava would try and escape and get into the woods near UA now, successfully. Deku would say, "Damn it," as he then sees one of the metal bars falling down below, as the quirk of elasticity just deactivated, and one of his fire bullets had actually caused one of the metal pieces to go flying off. He would see someone walking down there, so he would then jump down. Through using 10 shadow clones, Deku would catch the iron piece and throw it down. Deku would quickly apologize as he bows 3 times before running after Gentle and jumping over the fence. As he chases after Gentle and Labrava, Gentle would begin trying to use some defensive maneuvers. But Deku would have had enough at this point, as he would quickly use a shadow clone he left behind to absorb some nature energy. As he deletes the shadow clone, he would then regain all that sage jutsu, as he takes the sage chakra within himself. Wood-style sage mode, Deku would say, as he then activates it. His now strength and speed are even higher as he uses one for all, causing him to be almost like a blur. As he runs after Gentle, he would quickly be behind him, with Gentle not expecting this. Deku would throw a punch as he shoves his fist directly into Gentle's chest. We can see Gentle cough as spit and blood comes out of his throat, as he then goes slamming into a tree. Gentle! Labrava would scream, as she normally did in the show, with Labrava now using her quirk Love on Gentle immediately, with Deku being way stronger right now since he doesn't want to mess around, and Deku being a shinobi and all isn't as easy as he was in the original. With Deku preparing for a strike back, Gentle will be powered up from the Love quirk, causing him to have an enhanced quirk and physical strength. Him and Deku would now get into a small physical bout, with Deku using his shinobi skills of stealth as he would climb into the trees using chakra control and jump from tree to tree just like Gentle was using his elasticity for. Deku could pretty much take care of Gentle with ease at this point, and now that he has Sage Mode and One For All activated, it's not even as much of a challenge as it was in the original, with him and Gentle now realizing that they're much more similar to each other than they had thought. And we get all the flashbacks of Gentle's past, and Deku saying he was the most difficult villain he ever fought, not because of his strength, but because of his personality. With Deku then coming down from the top as he slams down directly into Gentle, using wood style and sealing him against the ground. With Gentle's last push, he would tell Labrava to run away. As Labrava would run, tears in her eyes, she wouldn't make it far, as some of the teachers from UA, including Ectoplasm and Aizawa, as well as a few others, would now be patrolling the area before the festival. With the capture of Gentle Criminal as well as Labrava underway, the heroes would take them away as Deku would see them off as they now leave, with Gentle regretting his decisions that he's made throughout his life. Anyhow, Deku would have to hurry as he grabs his ropes and then runs back to make it to the festival in time. As he gets there, barely in time, gasping as he opens the door and runs in, everyone would say that he barely made it, with Deku getting into costume as he would then climb up onto the stage getting ready for the event. Everything after this point is pretty much the same for the festival arc, so I won't be getting into it much, but if you guys want to see more of this What If, then make sure to tell me in the poll that I'll be posting after this video that you want me to continue into the manga before Season 5 starts, or if you want me to wait for the anime onlys. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.